Good morning. On Sunday, we recapped our year-long study through the Gospel of John. This week, we're counting down the 5 most viewed devotions from this series. Today, this was the highest viewed devotion. It's titled, Understanding God's Ways. So enjoy and be blessed. Good morning. Jesus' disciples were so intent on what they wanted from him, to be a ruling, conquering king, that when he explained his messianic mission to die on the cross for their sins and rise again, they just didn't understand. As we read yesterday, 3 different times Jesus told them about his mission, but they didn't understand. They didn't want to understand. They had in their minds what he should do. But his plans would prevail because his substitutionary sacrifice was what we needed. So in his final words to them from John 16:16, he's informing them again, "A little while, and you will see me no longer, and again, a little while, and you will see me again." So they were saying, what does he mean by a little while? We don't know what he's talking about. What do you do when you don't understand what Jesus is talking about, what he's saying or doing? I appreciate the way Jesus responded to them, again reminding us how kind and patient he is with us. As they were talking amongst themselves about what he said and meant, he confronted them and asked them what they were talking about. He wanted to answer their questions, and not that they would fully understand or even agree with what he was going to do. Remember Peter's response, recorded in Matthew 16. After Jesus began to show his disciples that he had to go to Jerusalem, suffer many things at the hands of the elders, chief priests, and scribes, and be killed, and on the 3rd day be raised, Peter took him aside and began to rebuke him. "Never, Lord," he said, "this shall never happen to you." And Jesus turned and said to Peter, "Get behind me, Satan. You are a stumbling block to me. You do not have in mind the concerns of God, but merely human concerns." It's true, isn't it? We think we know what's best for us, for others, in situations in government. We think our ways are the best. Then, like the disciples, we eventually discover that God's ways are not our ways. They're much better because they have eternity and his divine plans in mind. Listen to God speaking through the prophet Isaiah. "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." That's from Isaiah 55. So they're not even close. His ways are so much higher and better and eternally beneficial than our ways that we must trust him. So we ask him for wisdom, that we might see things as he sees them. We ask for understanding, that we might grasp at least some of God's reasoning for what he does or allows. And that was lesson 1 yesterday. In sorrow, we can ask for understanding, and we should. When we're hurt or hurting, we can ask God to show us why he's allowed it to happen. Remember what I read from Proverbs 2, 1 through 8? We're encouraged to pray for understanding, that we might grasp some of God's ways and trust his purposes. And then, whatever God chooses to reveal to us, we accept it and we rest in it. He has revealed to us what we need to know. We may understand more at a later time. We will definitely understand all things once we get to heaven, but here we only see through a glass dimly. We only know in part. 1 Corinthians 13:12. So pray and ask God for understanding, then search his word, listen to wise counsel, and trust that in time he will give us the understanding we need. One other caution. Don't withhold your trust of God until you understand all things, because if you do, you will likely never trust him, because you'll never fully understand Him or His ways. Now, my go-to verses are Proverbs 3, 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not rely on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your paths. Let's make those our memory work for the week. If you would like to join me in memorizing those two verses, why don't you say them out loud with me now? Proverbs 3, 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not rely on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your paths. Good words. Let's pray. Sovereign Lord, all-knowing Father, thank you for the comfort we find in learning that you know what is best. You can be trusted for whatever you allow. We do ask for wisdom and understanding. And thank you for revealing to us what we need to know. We love you, Lord. And now offer your prayers. God bless you.